Hi, I'm Dan, and welcome back to the Rock Nerd Radio Show here on YouTube. Back in 2023, I predicted that because Marvel got the license to ROM back, that we would probably be seeing a Marvel Legends ROM figure. Well, here we are in May of 2025, and a ROM the Space Knight Marvel Legends figure has indeed been released. So let's take a look at him today on the Rock Nerd Radio Show. So here is our new ROM the Space Knight, first time entry in the Marvel Legends figure line. He is part of the vintage mini comic wave, whatever you want to call it, and he comes in at $25. Now looking at this figure, there's a lot of silver on him. In fact, there are very few paint apps other than the red on the booster rockets here on the jetpack in the back, and the black and this kind of orangey red and white for the eyes. Otherwise, everything is sculpted detail. There's some nice sculpted detail here on the chest. There are these nice like rivets here, almost looking like this is like riveted on him. Oh, there is a little splash of red under that chest detail too. I did miss that. But at the ab crunch, we have these rivets again. Nice details on the legs and moving down, more into the legs. And because of like the different depth on it, the light hits it differently. So it almost looks like there is a lot of like shading and shadow on here, when in fact there's not. It's just the way the light's hitting everything, which I think looks really cool. And I love this like very old style, kind of like, almost 50s or 60s looking like jetpack on here. It looks really cool, and of course the very square head with these nice like line details on it. ROM is a neat looking figure. He is a little taller than your average Marvel Legends figure. As a matter of fact, I'll bring in the Ultimate Iron Man figure, and as you can see, they are ROM is looking down on them, which is okay. I'm very much okay with it. I kind of always pictured ROM to be of a larger size, so this is definitely showing that he is. Now, in terms of articulation, I think he has a really cool articulation style. The head itself can look way up. There is that disc joint to a ball that the head is on, but then the neck, much like the Ultimate Iron Man, also can move around. But because it doesn't have like that deep neck socket, there's a lot of wiggle room in here. So you can get a lot of play on this head. You can get it to be very expressive. You can move it around in any kind of way that you want it to. And I think that is a fantastic feature on this figure. It definitely makes it look really cool. And like, if you wanted to put him in like a flying position, something like this where he might be on a flight stand, he can still look forward and it looks natural. It doesn't look like the figure's head is coming off of the neck or something. This all looks like it, it's meant to be. Standing him back up though, let's move down to the body. So we do have, let me just move the arms out of the way real quick. We do have a dedicated joint up here at the midsection that can let him twist, and there's even bend to it. Now, the jetpack is definitely getting in the way, so there's not a lot of back bend, but there's a decent amount forward. It can cover those red details and even those rivets to a degree. I think that looks really cool. But if you want even deeper bend, well, we have this ab crunch here, which lets him look way down. And again, kind of, a decent amount back. Like if we're standing him up, that much. And again, couple that with the head, and you could get him in some really cool flying poses. This would look very natural on a flight stand if you wanted him like flying forward. All right, you can already see that the arms go out this far. They also rotate all the way around, and doesn't really get, the jetpack harness thing doesn't really get in the way, which is good. We do have full rotation at the shoulder, or at the shoulder, bicep, double jointed elbow, and it doesn't look unnatural if you bend his elbow. It's like, it gets a little flat here, but it doesn't look that bad. The hands will rotate. The particular hands that I have on him now do move up and down. These are the grip hands that are there for his blasters that you'll see in a moment. So I do like that they move up and down. He does have two other hands that move in and out as opposed to up and down. We'll see those when I get there. Moving down to the legs, ROM can kick forward this much. No real kick back. And the nice thing is, rather than have a thigh cut here that breaks up the design, they do it where this like boot comes up. So this is where that joint is, and it looks very natural. It looks very cool, and it's hidden because it just, it's the boot cut moving. Love that. Double jointed knees, they can bend, he can kick his own butt, and nothing else at the leg, no lower boot cut. We do have feet that move up and down, and then, your ankle pivot there as well. So kind of what we're getting used to with Marvel Legends. I think this looks phenomenal, though. And for like a character like Rom, it's been a while since I've read the Rom books, I'll say that. I don't remember how agile he is, but for something that kind of looks like, an old-style space robot, wouldn't really expect him to be in like some super crazy poses like a Spider-Man or something. So I think this articulation style works great for him. As I had mentioned, Rom already has 2 grip hands on, but he also comes with this kind of open hand, which he could use to grip that comic. The comic, by the way, in the back on my display shelf for the comics, it's right over here. But this hand, I like it because there's no like super defined fingers in there. It looks like what I remember Rom's hands looking like almost like a space glove, and you can see like the indents, the outlines of the fingers, but like they're not individual, which I think that's a really cool look. The other hand would be a fist, so he does have a right fist and this left open hand. They're cool. I want the grip hands on him just because of these other accessories, and that would be 2 blasters. So he does have this really neat looking blaster. This is the smaller one of the 2. I don't remember, like I said, it's been a while since I've read the ROM comics. I don't remember if either one has a significance, like if one does something and the other one does something else. But this is just the smaller of the 2. It looks neat. He can hold it simply by slotting it into his hand, like that. And then, like I said, because these are the up-down kind of way to bend, you can aim it down, you could aim it way up, and, you can change it depending on how, your character is holding his arm, or how his arm is extended. So there is that. I like that. The other gun is larger. Let me actually get them both out so you can see. But don't fall, Rom. Yeah, the other one is larger in size. You can see here. A different shape to it as well. This has like 3 of these like extended pieces, where this one only has 1. Different shape in the back as well compared. And, you can see the difference in the detailing as well. This has some like wire details on it. This doesn't have as many details. But they both have, you can see that like red nub in the front. And ROM comes with a blast effect, so you can just plug the blast effect on, and now you have this really cool effect kind of shooting out. So you can have ROM shooting energy at whoever might be attacking him. Like I said, he can hold both of these though, so you just slot them into each hand. So one will go there, the other will go here. And, they don't really weigh him down. Like, if you have the blast effect on this one, it's definitely going to be a little heavier. Like, you can see it's not standing perfectly straight up now. But you just have to kind of play with his stance. And, he will stand. Like, as you can see, I'm not holding him. Nothing's stopping him from falling down right now. And he's maintaining balance. So that is pretty cool. In terms of figure comparisons, here's Rom next to the Annihilation era Star-Lord. And here he is to the more classic style looking Star-Lord.
And here he is next to the 20th anniversary Marvel Legends Captain America.
So my final thoughts on this ROM figure is that honestly he's pretty cool. I like him, I'm happy I got him, but I'm someone who likes cosmic Marvel characters and the space weirdos. I don't know if this figure is for everyone. There seemed to be a lot of buzz around it. Having it in hand, the buzz for me is still there. I was a little afraid that once I got it in hand, I wouldn't feel that it was as cool as I was expecting. Honestly, I really dig it. It kind of makes me wish that he didn't fall over, but it kind of makes me wish that I got the Crystar figure that came out last year. I didn't get that, but I feel like they would look really good on a shelf together. So let me know. What do you think of this ROM figure? Did you pick it up? Is it something that you're planning on picking up? Do you not care? I would love to know what you think. And please leave a comment down below. And if you're so inclined, like and subscribe. And remember, you can always check out the Rock Nerd Radio Show podcast on your preferred podcast platform. It is a weekly podcast hosted by myself and my good friend Vinny, where we talk about all different aspects of pop culture. We would love it if you tuned in. Well, until next time, I want to thank you for tuning in. I've been Dan, he's been Rom, you've all been pretty awesome. I'll see you around.